Welcome to The Talent Journey, a video podcast where a talent outsider like me asks dumb questions so you don't have to. Along the way, we'll learn about the stories of how our talent leader guests got to where they are today and pick up nuggets of wisdom from their experience that you can use in your own journey to become a better recruiter, employer brander, and talent leader. I'm your host, Justin Vaco, and today we're talking with Alex Her. Alex currently resides in Austin, Texas, and enjoys all things employer branding, recruitment marketing, and candidate experience. Outside of work, he's also a co-founder of the EB Space and is a founding leader of the employer brand wagon. When he's not working, he enjoys traveling, being with the family, music, movies, podcasts, and mentoring others. Hey, Alex, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Justin.
So you lead the team at GoDaddy and the employer branding team. Can you tell me about the size of GoDaddy, the size of your team, and what your role is as a team?
Yeah. So we've got a global company here at GoDaddy, about a size of 9,000 employees. I head up the global employer brand team, as you mentioned, in-house, team of 4, including myself. Content marketing, recruitment marketing type of setup. We handle all locations across the globe where GoDaddy does business. And we handle the amazing GoDaddy Life social channels, career pages, any of the blog as well. Any messages or posts you see coming out with the GoDaddy employees, our teammates sharing that's coming from us and our team. Where we sit respective to other departments. We're nested under TA and just service all the other teammates we have, whether they be in marketing, engineering, sales, whether it be IT specific, you name it, we work with them.
Well, can you explain to me what you do like I'm a young child?
I get to share amazing stories from people that I work with that are also friends and try to help people get jobs.
I love that. Share amazing stories, help people get jobs. So, Alex, what's your zone of genius? Something that really didn't have to be taught you for you to be naturally good at that's gotten you where you are today?
I think for me, it's the ability to connect and be vulnerable, I guess. So like I'm always open. I'm a natural connector. I love chatting with people, but I'm not afraid to get out of my own way. And I think that has helped me out, outside of the employer brand life, if you want to call it that, or, the employer brand game. I'm that person, like, I wasn't that way before, be fully transparent, but it was okay. Let me stop roadblocking, stop assuming I know everything, and be more accepting. And I think that served me well the last 10 plus years. And it's especially with the full-time job, it's helped out because it's a little tough to get people to buy into something that people still have a hard time comprehending if you think it's your way or the highway and you're not going to listen to their ideas and let them be part of the fun.
That's an amazing mindset to have. It sounds like that's your zone of genius. That's something that it sounds like you've worked at that. You said that's not something that you used to have naturally.
Oh yeah. I mean, if it's outside of that, I would say singing. I'm not the best singer, but it's like, it's easy to harmonize to do those things, right? That comes natural. That or like playing soccer, which I did quite a bit of. But like, in terms of level of genius, outside of that, it's I did work quite a bit on that. If you're stuck in your own head and you don't listen, don't take advice, like you're stuck in your ways, you're going to keep going down that rabbit hole, right? No way to really get out of your own way. But if you say, okay, hey man, like what are your thoughts on this? Like, what could I be doing better? And actually take that in consideration and work on it, listen to someone else outside of yourself. I mean, it turns out way better.
Alex dropping truth bombs already early in the podcast here, folks. Alex, has there ever been a time you failed at something, and what did it teach you?
Oh, yeah. I have failed before, failed many times. I would say, in this space, we like to think that we're magicians and we can fix everything and that, you are the brand, you are the culture. That's not the way that it works. I've had, a couple of situations in the past where you go in thinking, okay, hey, I'm gonna create things. I'm gonna, talk to people, build out the CVP, and I know it's gonna happen because I can will that, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. And it was not working out. It was pretty clear early on that, okay, hey, this ship is going under, right? Chalk that as a loss, kind of, see what what you had to work with, what you would eventually have to, what you would need to be successful with everything. And I mean, that led me to, eventually create a concept that I had presented at RecFest that, it was more of my learnings through the last 6 years. Okay, if I'm going into something, right, I kind of need these things to be successful.
What are those things?
So what I have presented was a team concept. So it's the T for the time. You need the time when you're getting in there to actually to work your craft. Bring that magic, make it happen. You also need to be empathetic just with the individuals that you're speaking to. Learn more about like what they're going through, right? Because that's going to tell you early on. Okay, hey, is this build out of this employer brand, this project, is it going to work? Do you have people there? And then, A is the advocates, the advocacy. You're empathetic. You've learned about these people, whether they be in different departments, global, wherever the heck they are. And then you find your natural advocates, or you educate them and turn them into advocates. You find some potential there and what they're good at doing. And then, M is to magnetize that, essentially activate it. Everything you have at that point. You're ready to either activate that EVP, you activate the employee advocacy program, recruitment marketing campaign, just different content you've created organically, and get that out there. I think that's when you take everything together to make that team, and the magic does start to happen.
What's something you wish more people knew about in your world of employer branding?
I think people see a small percentage of what we do. You may see one piece of content I put out there. A lot of people see the external stuff, but they don't know, okay, hey, what are we doing? Like, we're analyzing, we're taking that piece of content, we're looking at that on the back end and determining, okay, outside of impressions and clicks, where is this resonating from a global perspective? Like, which location, which type of, how big is the impact, and where's it funnel underneath? Are people responding to our DEIB content, localization content, meet the employees type of content, job postings? How does that work? There's a lot of things under the hood, if you want to call it that. We're constantly, looking at analytics, finding data points, ways to tie everything back. You got to be the ultimate project manager. You've got to manage everything, bring that together, understand the data. So be good with the data, with the analytics, be able to work with people, right? If you're stuck in your own ways, like I talked about before, not going to get much buy-in to your program, what you're doing, going to be very siloed. So you have to have that ability to communicate, to work with people, but also to work across several different lines, like all the way from senior level leadership down to individual contributors, and then taking that to the next level of finding, okay, outside of, okay, a day in the life of this person, how can we better describe that story? How can we be different? And then it's being a salesperson, then it's being a designer. You may have designers, you may not have designers. So can you design a graphic? Are you good at copywriting and writing messages? Can you put together a video? And then can you then in turn take all that, present that back? It really takes a jack of all trades. It's not for the faint of heart. If you're afraid if a couple doors get closed on you, then it's not for you. But if you're like, okay, this door closes, that means that's a learning experience, an opportunity. I'm going to keep, trucking along. Great. Come on in.
So what's a process or a strategy that you found success with that you'd be able to share with our listeners, our viewers?
In terms of employee advocacy, that's something I'm very passionate about. I think it's something I am good at, and doing that requires buy-in, right? If you're in TA like we are here, hey, who do I know is active on social? Let me work with them and say, all right, I've got this crazy idea. What I'm going to do is, you are already active on social. I'm going to create some content that is, based around what we're doing from an employer branding perspective. And if you're starting with little to nothing, that's fine. Maybe that's even more of an ideal situation because, you don't have much to work with, and you can truly make this program your own. So it's okay. Let's find a few pieces of content. Let's maybe have you featured. And the selling point of this is a 2-for-1 type of situation where I'm going to help you grow your personal brand because I'll be creating the content. I'll give you several options in terms of the messages, the hashtags, I'll give you the links, the graphics, the videos, and then you will grow out your personal brand from that. And then you'll also be seen as the ultimate employee ambassador advocate because you're advocating on two fronts. So eventually someone's going to look at that and say, hey, man, Steve and Justin really know what they're talking about, right? They've been sharing this and they keep talking, about, said company here. Maybe I should check it out. Or, you know what, they're always posting about, the right steps or the right ways to go about getting the interview, to updating my profile. I want to pick their brain on that because they seem to know something that I don't. At the end of the day, people listen to people.
So what's something you think is overrated now in the talent space?
I think, Chat GPT is, it's kind of going all over the place at the moment. I think that's AI is phenomenal, but it's got to be used correctly. Video is good too. Again, another thing where I think it's great. It's great if you can get video. You can get these tools that can help you create the video. But I'm not a fan of getting technology. Like solve the problem, solve what is within your control, and then get the technology. Because if you're getting the technology and the problem's still there, right? Like you haven't defined how do we get these people? What will our strategy be? And then you get that technology. It's like, well, it's sitting there. That contract is gonna. Are you going to keep renewing that, or are you just going to say we'll chalk it up as a loss? But you've got to have some sort of strategy before you even go and get the product.
Love it. That's great perspective. It's like the startup perspective of build your MVP, your minimum viable product, and then if that works, then start building the whole thing. I love that approach to employer branding. What's something you think is underrated in the talent space?
I think TikTok is underrated. I mean, from personal level, I love it. I think it's a lazy version of YouTube. It just does, once the algorithm knows what I want, then hey, it's serving things. But it's underrated for the fact that again, if you put it side by side with with videos, like everyone thinks you need something highly produced and created inside of Canva, iMovie, or whatever, and that's the gold standard. And it's really not what it is. There's a phenomenal recruiter and friend I'm connected with, Joe Laglia on LinkedIn, and he's killing it on TikTok. And it's very basic and it's straight to the point. But it's underrated because I think people are scared of it and they're assuming, okay, there's an age gap with it, but there are people who are like in their 70s and their 80s who have thousands of followers, like in the six digits, and they put out amazing content, but everyone just wants to look at LinkedIn and then this is where I say, it's underrated because everyone wants to go where they assume the job seekers will be. But if you want to meet people where they're at to get the passive job seekers, like we should be doing with employer branding, you have a LinkedIn because you need one. It's almost like it's a necessary evil. But a TikTok is where that's where I'm going to be outside of working hours. So if you want to find me where I'm at and actually do something that, will work and attract me, it's going to be there. So it's underutilized. I think people are still scared of what to do, but I would say, dive on in, try some things, you never know until you try, but very underrated.
All right. Last question for you, Alex. What bit of advice would you share with a younger version of you?
Be comfortable with change. Good things are going to happen. The road will not be straight and narrow, but you're going to find yourself doing things you would have never imagined you were capable of. Take the ball and run with it. Run as fast as you can. Being a distant second place behind Usain Bolt, and you'll be okay.
Love that. Accept the turbulence. It's getting you to a better destination. You'll be there soon. That's cool. Thank you, Alex, for your time today. Where can people learn more about you?
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn or Twitter. And then as I slowly start building up more of those TikTok videos, you can find me there. Happy to connect either way, but I don't think you're going to find the same type of stuff as I would put on LinkedIn.
What's your handle on TikTok?
It is the Alex HAWJ project.
All right. Well, thank you again so much for being here, Alex.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to the Talent Journey podcast with your host, Justin Vaco. To learn more about Dialogue, visit recruitwithdialogue.com.